Welcome to the world of augmented reality, Service AR. My name's Matthew, and I'm going to show you the possibilities Service AR offers for improving work efficiency and productivity, and most importantly, how easy it is to set up an installation. Service AR is the ideal tool for all kinds of applications, maintenance, facility management, and many others. In this short video, I'll show you how to create a 3D scan of this heating room, how to import the scan into the ViewAR system, and how to create your own AR or VR workflow within this environment. At the end, we'll go through this workflow together. This device is a 3D scanner, a camera that makes it possible to create three-dimensional images of the environment, so-called digital twins. These scans are the foundation of the ViewAR system. Here, we see a Matterport scanner, but scans from Leica or NavVis scanners can also be used with our system. Creating a 3D scan is easy and extremely fast. 400 square meters or 4,000 square feet can be scanned in about an hour. If you don't own a scanner, you can rent one, or request a scanning provider to perform the service for you. Let me show you how easy it is to create a scan using a Matterport scanner. First of all, you just need to connect to the scanner's Wi-Fi network and then open the Matterport app. This room is the heating room, so we'll call our scan project Heating Room. Now we're ready to create our first scan point. Be aware that the scanner captures everything in front of the lens, sides, even the ceiling. So you need to make sure you're out of view, around the corner or behind the lens. And the first scan's already complete. You can check the scan immediately if you want. Now, we need to move the scanner 5 to 8 steps and repeat the process until we've covered the area we need. So, that covers everything we need. In the app, we can see all of the scan points we've created, and we're ready to upload the scans to Matterport, who will create a cloud computation of an accurate 3D model of the location. This can take 3 to 6 hours. So, let's see what we can do with these 3D scans. Welcome to our office in the heart of Vienna. Now we're going to create our first map. To do this, we first need to create a new app in the ViewAR portal and give it a name. In this case, we'll simply call it Video Demo. In the company field, we'll use ViewAR for our example. Here we can import our Matterport scan to the ViewAR portal. And now we give the map a name. Usually, we'd use a name for the building and then add multiple scans to it. But for now, let's use Heating Room. Now we can start to import the 3D scan. Here we can see the imported 3D scan. There are a number of possible viewing modes: top, perspective, panorama, and first person. The ViewAR portal allows the user to create points of interest in the 3D scan, or as we call them, POIs. These POIs can then become the action points in our workflow. We set the first POI at the entrance to the heating room so that we can navigate users to the location. You can add all kinds of information to every POI, for example, photos, videos, or a description. You can even enter the ID number of a room or item into the ID field. This POI is this cutoff lever. Here, the technician has to check if it is in this position. And the last station of our short maintenance workflow is these two frequency converters. The technician needs to check if energy consumption is within the optimal range. As you can see, creating these action points or POIs is very simple. You can create as many of them as you like. So now indoor navigation is already set up. Each POI has its own QR code. Just scan the code, and the ViewAR app will open and start the AR navigation. But now let's look at authoring our workflow. A workflow is a sequence of steps that must be carried out in a predefined order. For each of these steps, you can specify a navigation destination, POI labels, descriptions, photos, and videos. This will show the user the safest and shortest path and provide them with all the necessary information to complete all tasks correctly. Just choose a name for the workflow and link it to the heating room with all of the POIs you've created. Here you can define your workflow in an intuitive and easy way. So let's create our first step, a navigation to the heating room where our workflow takes place. We also need to link the work step with the POI at the entrance to the heating room. Now let's create a workflow step for pressure check and add a description. Now we need to link this step with the pressure scale POI in the map. The POI label not only shows the exact position of the pressure scale in the workflow, it will also create a navigation path to it if the user isn't there already. Let's say it's important to know that pressure isn't exceeding a certain level, so there needs to be two buttons, one for below 340 and one for above 340. Depending on the pressure level, the workflow branches out in different directions. For example, if it's above 340, the maintenance technician then gets instructed to call an electrician for assistance. But let's focus on the case that the pressure is normal in our example. A selection of form elements can also be integrated into the workflow steps. For example, if you want to make sure this work step has really been done and save the displayed information, the maintenance technician has to take a picture of the pressure scale. The photo will be saved with a timestamp and the position of how it was taken. Let's go further and customize the second workflow step. This step is the cutoff lever. Here, the technician has to check if it is in this position. And of course, we also need to link the work step with the cutoff lever POI. So let's create the last station of our little maintenance tour, an efficiency control for the ventilation systems. Here, it's important to check that the frequency converters are keeping the energy consumption within the optimum range. Now we need to link these steps with the POIs in the map. Now that we've reached the end of our short workflow, we can ask the technician to confirm this with his signature using another form element. Our software can also be used to customize wayfinding with barriers and passages, visualize live IoT data, and integrate 3D models. Of course, you can also combine and align multiple scans. But back to our workflow. We're now ready to test it on location. Just open the ViewAR app. Your project will open automatically. In our case, we want to open a workflow. So let's tap on Workflows and select the Heating Room Monthly Maintenance Workflow. And here's our workflow. Right now, the device is comparing the camera picture with the 3D scan to detect our position. Et voila. Let's follow our own instructions. Of course, these workflows are also a great tool for training on safety or production procedures, for example. And because you have a digital twin of the location, you can also do the training on a computer, phone, or tablet as if you were on site. Now our workflow's finished. You can also integrate these features into existing systems like SAP and others. All data can be dynamic, and you can create deep links that link and open the ViewAR app from the existing system, even sending back data after a task has been performed. As you can see, this technology is changing the way we work and how we see the world. Use it to improve the productivity, efficiency, and the safety of your workers. Apart from workflows and indoor navigation, we also offer AI detection, defect marking, OCR tagging, and much more. Visit us at www.viewar.com. Thank you for watching.